the lighting for me. We're outside and I'm glowing, guys. I'm glowing. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. My name is Uzurie, and today will be the very last video in the nursing school series, and I have a surprise for you at the end, so stay tuned. If this is your very first video from the nursing school series, you must be confused, you must be lost. So I will direct you to my description box. Click the links down there. The titles of the videos are there, where I speak about how to apply to nursing school, surviving nursing school, and there are lots of tips, lots of information. So click on the links and watch those videos. Come back here and enjoy this one. So I'm going to give you an overview of what it's like after you have gotten your job as a registered nurse here in Jamaica. First of all, in Jamaica, in the government system and a good amount of the private institutions, we wear all white uniforms, right? All white. And the material is linen, matte linen to be more specific. Some persons change the material depending on what they're looking for, but for the most part we wear full white. Some institutions allow you to wear white shoes, some say that you can wear brown shoes, and the stocking that you wear under your dress is normally flesh tone stocking depending on your skin tone. Also, if you wear pants, it's white socks. So on average, a level 1 registered nurse here in Jamaica earns between 97,000 Jamaican dollars to 100,000 Jamaican dollars after tax. Yes guys, it's not a lot, but we can do sessions to make up your salary, even though it's still not a lot. But you asked and I'm giving you the answers. Just like school, most institutions, when you get the job, you have an orientation. So you won't be thrown into the deep, dark blue sea and not know how to swim. You go through orientation. Some institutions have examinations on medication administration, dressing that you have to pass before they allow you to go in the clinical area on the wards to care for the patients. So don't worry if you feel lost. Don't worry if you feel like you won't be able to swim. Basically, they do equip you before you go to the patients as a registered nurse, because remember, when they listen, I remember my first day on the surgical ward. A patient actually said to me, nurse, they asked me to do something, and I remember what it was, and I was like, okay, no problem, I'll go get the nurse. And then for a moment I had to stop and I realized that I was wearing full white and I was a nurse. I was terrified, but you know, I took a deep breath. I thought about what the patient was asking, and if I wasn't able to assist, I asked a charge nurse or a senior nurse that was on the ward, so it was not so bad. Now, I know you guys saw the title of the video and it's not a clickbait, so let's get straight into that story. You do a month and a half on a surgical ward, and then you work another month and a half on a medical ward. Now, working on a surgical ward was beautiful. I was working on the orthopedic ward, so I was working amongst patients who had injuries to their bones, basically. That was beautiful and that experience was great. Big up to all the nurses on the orthopedic ward, if any of you are watching here. Then I went to the medical ward, and on my first day, my patient died. And I was grieving and I didn't even know. So I came to the medical ward. It was my first day, so I was to be orientated to the ward to find out, you know, where's the sluice room, where do I get medication, etc, etc. The sister came and she did all of that, and I felt welcome, and she assigned me a patient. And the patient was pretty ill, but you know, I never thought that she would have died that day, honestly. So I took her to x-ray, and she had in a nasogastric tube which goes from the nose to the stomach for feeds, because she wasn't talking, she was just breathing, she couldn't do anything for herself. She was actually pretty ill, but as I said, I never thought she would have died. I took her to X-ray, and when it was my lunchtime, I fed her first because, for me, I normally like to know that my patients are fed before I go on lunch. So I fed my patients, and I asked the nurse to do her glucose monitor reading to check her sugar level, basically, before I came back. However, I cut my lunch short and I came back early, and I said I was gonna do her prick her finger and test her glucose monitor reading, or GMR. Went to the bedside, called her name, and I'm about to prick her, and I realized she was not responding. And her eyes weren't open, her chest wasn't moving, anything. So immediately I called the charge nurse. I let her know the patient isn't breathing, and we started CPR. The doctors came, and we were doing CPR for about 30 minutes. We did our 5 cycles, and she still died. She died. And I was like, okay, in the moment, I was fine. I was perfectly okay. And of course, nursing students were there. There were nursing students there, and they wanted to see me do the last office. Now, the last office is the last thing that you do before you send a patient's body to the morgue. I don't really want to give too much details in it, but basically, you I don't want to, but you clean up the patients and you basically prepare them to go to the morgue. So I was doing that, and there were about 4 or 5 nursing students observing what I was doing. And I'm going to be honest with you, this was the second time in my entire life I did a last office. The first time was on the surgical ward, and I had assistance from senior nurses, but it was me and God alone this time around. And the nursing students were so excited because they got to learn something new. Now, let's talk about grieving as a nurse. I mean, this isn't a topic that is spoken about a lot, but I really think that is something that is skipped over. I came home the evening, I told my parents about it, I told my partner about it, and I told a few of my friends about it, and I was fine. Never cried or anything because I just met this lady, right? For the entire week, I had a specific friend that every conversation we had, I made mention about this lady and how she died. And she said to me, I think you're grieving. And I said to her, why do you think that? And she said, because every time I talk to you for the past 5 days, you've been talking about this patient. And I didn't even realize it. And she suggested that I got a grieving box, which is basically a box with like a bottle of wine and a book where I wrote the patient's name, everything I did with them, when they died, what I did, and all of that. And I got a book. I wrote the patient's name, her age, what we did, what we spoke about. Because even though your patient doesn't respond to you, you still talk to them because they can still hear you. Even if they're in a coma, you still have to talk to them, let them know that what you're doing. Spoke about how I went to X-ray, how I fed her, her beautiful smile, her beautiful face. I wrote it in the book, and ever since then I was fine. But I was actually grieving. And I think a lot of the times as nurses, we forget that we're human. We are human, and that a lot of things do affect us. And because we are expected to be strong for our patients, we forget that we need to mourn too. We forget that we have emotions, until it really hits you. I mean, sometimes I've had a patient die recently, and I cried because she was on our unit for a really long time, and her death was so unexpected. And my friends were there, we were talking about her, and I cried because she just felt like she was family, honestly, and she was such a beautiful patient. So these things do happen, and we have to find ways to cope. So for me, if I have a patient and the patient dies, I have a grieving book where I write down their name, what we did, and just spoke about them. And that's how I remember my patients. Everybody is different. Maybe you can talk to a friend, maybe you can talk to a family member, maybe you can get counseling, but I really do suggest having an outlet to grieve. So I just wanted to share that little bit with you on a lighter note for the end of the series. Now, a lot of persons have asked me a lot of questions on Instagram, on YouTube, persons have emailed me, but I really do think everyone can benefit from the answers that I'm giving. So I'm going to leave a link in the description box for you to ask me questions anonymously. You can ask under the video. You can message me on Instagram at Uzurie. You can message me on Facebook at Uzurie Day. heavy, you can send me an email. But you can, if I know some persons still, don't like to just put themselves out there and they would like to remain anonymous, that's fine. A link is there. So when you click on the link and you type in the question, right, I won't know it's you. It will come in anonymously and I will answer those questions next week, Monday, September 6th at 7 p.m. in the next video. So that will be the question and answer section. You'll answer questions. If you guys think I should do like a YouTube live, let me know. Comment down below and say do a YouTube live and we interact, where we can go back and forth and have discussions. That would be really nice. So let me know, guys. So we have come to the end of this video and I have a surprise. I'm having a giveaway. All right, guys. Okay, so in this giveaway, you'll be receiving a dressing set to practice for your span of duty exam. You'll also receive a thumb drive with nursing books soft copy, also questions for RENR, and also nursing material that can help you throughout. If you're interested in this giveaway, this is how you enter. Ensure that you are subscribed to my channel and follow me on Instagram. I will have a post that says a nursing school series giveaway, and if I do the post already, I will put it here on the screen. Comment underneath it NSS, which means nursing school series, and tag a friend or two, and that guarantees you an entry. And we'll enter your names into a program and then it will randomly select the winner. I will announce the winner Monday, September 26th in my next video after the question and answer segment. So guys, thank you so much for all your support. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. It was great, and I hope all the information I have provided so far will assist you or anyone that you know that is interested in becoming a registered nurse. Bye guys, see you next week Monday for the giveaway and the question and answer segment.